Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. I heard you're mighty and they know it. So there's somebody who has tested you or attacked you, maybe even plotted against you. And they wanted you to doubt yourself because they already know how mighty you are. They've known this for a long time, perhaps even from a past life. But their objective was always to create dissension in your world, to get you to doubt yourself, so that in some way they could conquer you, defeat you, bring things in your life to a halt. That's what they wanted. It's almost as if they knew you were mighty, but they wanted to test your might. But all this has done is made your spirit stronger. It's allowed your soul to teach you lessons, because your soul knows all. It's also allowed you to heal yourself, to learn how to do that, to recall how to do that. Because there are things that you've known from past lives that you had just momentarily forgotten because of the matrix, the busyness of the matrix, all the distractions, you know. You've done something wonderful, truly miraculous. And so what's happened in this process is now not only do these people, because I feel like this is more than just one person. It could be people that you've encountered all throughout your life who have tested you and attacked you and in some kind of way. But yeah, they knew your might. That's why they wanted to test you. But now you know your might. Because whenever you arrive to a place of self-doubt, you never stopped there. You always journeyed on to a place where you were able to discover the truth about you, which is that you are divine. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with tarot. Let's see what's coming through for you, beautiful being. Divine, what does this beautiful being need to know at this time? What's coming through for them? Wow. Okay, this is about you being on your true path. I'm also going to take that Lover's card that was at the bottom there. You being on your true path regarding your inner self, being aligned, knowing who you are, knowing your strength, knowing your abilities. This is also about justice. Justice is being served to multiple beings who came through with this attack energy where they wanted to antagonize you. But the thing about it is that, you know, this season of justice where people who have tried to make life so hard for you. It's not that you have to rejoice over that, which you can if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that if you want to rejoice. But you're already rejoicing. You know, you're already rejoicing because I can see that you're on your path. You've got the Lovers, you've got the Chariot. The Seven of Cups falls right under Justice. So there's somebody who was trying to take you off of your divine path and your alignment with self, and perhaps within a relationship, within a divine union. There's somebody who is trying to create a whole fake storyline about your path, your purpose here on this earth, and the energy that you share with another beautiful being. It doesn't have to be a romantic connection, but for some of you it is. They wanted to put other options on the plate. They wanted to steer you wrong. They wanted to tempt you. And they wanted you to see yourself in a much different light than what's actually true. They wanted you to consider yourself as unworthy. And they wanted you to gamble something away. I'm hearing they wanted you to roll the dice. I keep hearing options, options. They wanted you to weigh all these different options and be confused and lose, so that you ended up in a place where you only saw them as an option. You thought that whoever this was who was attacking you was your only option. That's what they wanted. This person is coming through as both a Page of Wands and a Knight of Wands. There could have been multiple energies here. Okay? This Page of Wands, whoever this was, and it's somebody who was in their fire energy, because we have both the Page and the Knight. So at whatever point, at any given point on this path that you have journeyed through with this person, they were always in a very immature energy. The best that they could truly present themselves as was a Knight of Wands. That's it. They tried to come to you with some chivalry, some perhaps love bombing. And this doesn't have to be romantic, although it does feel like that. It does feel like that. It feels like there was some romantic interest, even if you were never interested in this person. You may have never touched them, kissed them, laid with them. There may have been no physical connection between you. For some of you there was. But for some of you this was like a very, as soon as they laid eyes on you, they just became obsessed. Because there was past life energy. But, you know, that's the thing. We come into contact with people that we've had past lives with all the time. But we don't try to ruin their life, you know? 9/11 on the timer. This person, it's like when they first saw you, they considered that an emergency. Like, oh my God. Everything became about you from the moment they saw you in this lifetime. And they developed a very dangerous fixation. This person is now in the Ten of Swords and they're having a tower. But also, this represents the suffering that even if you felt suffering at any given time during this saga, I'm hearing, it's over. There's an ending to the pain that you've suffered. As we're in the 10th minute now. It's over. It's done. There's a cycle that's now complete. And that energy is being ushered out of your world because of the Tower here. Now, there's something that Spirit is bringing through about the reaction that we have to a person when we know that they're experiencing justice. And I've learned this by, or through experience, because I've had people who wanted to attack me and did. There are people that have created suffering, and because I didn't know any better at the time, I allowed myself to suffer. I learned from it though, but whenever I figured out that this person, whether it was through a download or in a dream or finding something out, like some news or something like that, whenever I realized that a person who had treated me in a very evil way was going through karma and was experiencing justice, I would rejoice. I would get really excited. And it took a couple of cycles of that to realize that in that emotion that I was allowing myself to feel over that, where I was getting justice and, oh, the universe has set everything right. Yes, you know, I realized with time that what was happening when I was rejoicing over that karma was that I was creating another cycle or entering another cycle with that person because I was becoming attached to them through that emotion. Whenever we allow ourselves to feel emotion because of a person that we need to cut cords from, or that we've worked really hard to separate ourselves from and to create boundaries, that emotion does join us back together. So I learned to simply say to myself when I figured out that somebody was experiencing karma, I am so grateful for divine justice. May justice always lead us closer and closer to our true divine path. Ashe. I express gratitude for the scales being balanced, and I go on about my business. I don't go around the house singing and dancing and, hey, you learned your lesson, man. You know, I don't do that. And it produces much better results, because what it does is it allows you to remain in a state of freedom from that being that caused so much suffering. And that way, their divine justice, the karma that they are experiencing, it remains pure. In other words, when you attach yourself to it through feeling happy about it, or like, you know, it's okay to be like, oh, cool, you know. But if you remain with that emotion, it actually reattaches some of those cords that you've worked really hard to cut. And it removes some of the pressure that they experience with that karma. So their karma does not even feel as painful, because now, because of those attachments that have started to come back together to join your energies, they don't experience the suffering, the very suffering that will teach them to leave behind those evil ways and to make changes in their life so that they are truly doing what they need to do here on this earth in order to be more divinely aligned. 1444 on the timer. This is about a path of temperance. That's what this whole saga has been about in your world, is bringing temperance into your life. Where at one time there was illusion with the Seven of Cups, now there is temperance. Where at one time there was perhaps control and domination, now there is purity, clarity, freedom, patience, and the ability to alchemize very quickly. Perhaps what used to take you weeks, months, or years to alchemize, now you're able to do in minutes, hours, or days. And that's a part of your magic. You're coming through as the Queen of Swords. With this sword here, you cut your energy free from this Knight of Wands, Page of Wands. That came through in the last reading. It's like this energy of release. And you did this through truth. I think it's cool that the Seven of Cups is right here beside the Queen of Swords, because you released yourself from any illusion that did not allow you to see things in your life, in your world, as they truly are. You're seeing here with this Two of Wands, which this feels really positive. I love that she's looking over the water because you've made plans for peace. I'm getting sort of a Six of Swords energy here where you're like, however I move forward, it's going to be a journey of peace now. You choose your peace over everything else. And when you choose your peace, everything that's supposed to come along with you comes along with you. You've learned that when you do the work of aligning with a peaceful state, everything that's chaotic and that was never meant to get any better, was just supposed to fall away and do whatever it's meant to do over there. But what's supposed to come along with you is whatever aligns with peace. That's what you chose to do. You said, I'm moving forward with peace. So you made plans for peace. And you made plans that align with temperance, balance, patience. And that's brought justice into your world. It's brought truth. It's brought balance. And it's made it so that anything that's not in alignment with that, with justice and temperance, it's got to go. Something about Asia could be significant. Either maybe a cuisine, a type of cuisine, or something cultural. There might be somebody here who loves some type of Asian cuisine. I don't know why I keep saying that. Maybe it's true. I'm getting Thailand. I don't know. Thailand. I know the capital is Bangkok. I do know that. But I've never been to Thailand, but it's something about Thailand. This is coming through. So I know that in Thailand, I've watched some interviews with, because I love to learn about all different kinds of people from different walks of life, because when I learn about them, I realize that we're more similar than we think. But I know that in Thailand, they have what are called ladyboys, and they're transgender. I don't like to talk about a lot of things where I have to use popular terminology, because I don't keep up with, I just try to be respectful in however I speak about anyone. So just know that I'm trying to be respectful. But they're transgender, but there's something about the culture of Thailand where in that country, I'm not saying that everyone is accepting of people who are transgender, but that country is very open-minded compared to a lot of other societies. Okay, so there's something here about being in a place or desiring to be in a place that honors and accepts who somebody is. Okay, someone may have made plans to move or to go somewhere with this Two of Wands here. It's almost like I'm hearing them say, well, if you don't accept me, I'll go elsewhere. And it doesn't have to do with anything about being transgender. It could just be about your spiritual gifts. It could be about how you view the world, or how you feel about a certain government or something like that, where you just want to be around people that align with how you see things, because you're open-minded. There's something about you that's very open-minded. This could be someone else that you're aware of too. It doesn't have to be that this is your experience, but there's something here about wanting to be around people who are more supportive and who celebrate the way that a person is, or the way that they think or feel, or something about themselves that's very unique and beautiful. 2121 on the timer. That's the number of the World card. So yeah, this could definitely pertain to travel, going somewhere. They have yet to realize they made a deal with the devil. Yeah. So there's somebody here who doesn't realize yet that I'm hearing they were in bed with Satan. Okay. There could be someone here who was working to do or trying to do like satanic rituals or something, and someone was sleeping with them. Maybe they still are. This has led to a loss. A big loss. This could be related to that tower. Nose candy. There are substances involved here. Illegal substances. I'm hearing they're dependent on them. There could have been a crime of passion. Oh wow, they got an STD that they can't get rid of. And that's right beside crime of passion, so that could be one reason why somebody committed a crime of passion, because they were angry about their health status. They realized that someone played with their health. Because I'm getting that whoever passed this STD on, they knew that they had it. There was psychological abuse going on here. So someone was intentionally being I'm hearing they were violent with their words. Someone is ascending from all of this because they realize that this is just karmic. It's a karmic cesspool of energy. Okay, the extra deck. Thank you, Divine. What's coming through for this beautiful being? Okay, so there was a witchy sister here. This could actually be... Okay, here we go. So, Spirit was bringing through... For like the past 24 hours, I've gotten so many downloads of... First, what came through was woman attacking woman. And then it shifted to females attacking women. Because what came through is that any female who would attack a woman or another female who's minding their business doing whatever they're doing, focusing on their life. That female that attacked that woman, that is a female, that is not a woman, because not every female is a woman. It's a thing of maturity. It's a thing of respect. True women either leave other women alone if they can't respect them, or they support them. But it's a thing of either I will get out of your way and let you do you, or I will lift you up. And if as a woman you can't do either one of those for another woman, then that places a person in the category of female. They are not a woman. That is not what women do. So that's coming through with this Witchy Sister card. So if you are a female, then that could apply to you. And you may have had lots of these types of energies trying to attack you throughout your life, whether it was a mother, a sister, an auntie, quote unquote friend, somebody who you weren't even paying any attention to, but they locked in on you and developed some sort of obsession. You know, single white female, that movie was created for a reason. That shit does happen. Okay, so yeah, there's something here about that where it's like someone who wanted to attack, or a female who wanted to attack someone who was in their divine feminine energy. A witchy sister who called herself a sister, but she's not a sister. This could be a Leo, doesn't have to be, but they were acting out of their ego. It's in reverse. Excess, too much, gluttony, technology. Yeah, this person was, because it's in the reverse, they used both of these things. They did everything in excess. They used technology to try to turn your world upside down. There could be something about food here. This is the second time it came through, because with Asia, the Asia card, cuisine kept coming through, like Asian food. But with these cards being in the reverse, they were trying to use things of excess, or a frequency of excess, to create drama and chaos in your life. I'm also getting that this witchy sister could have been trying to throw spells at you to make you gain weight, to attack your beauty. Okay, so there's something there about that. But with technology, if there's anything narcissistic about this witchy sister, which to do the things that they're doing, they would have to be at least narcissistic if they're not a narcissist. But narcissists love AI. So if they were using technology to create fake identities, fake pages, fake businesses, they were doing all of this. I'm hearing they built a whole fake empire to try to reel you in. They built a whole fake empire in order to approach an empress. And that's why you came through as the Queen of Swords, because you were like, I don't think so. You have clear vision as the Queen of Swords. You saw through whatever this was that via online they were creating, whether it was a website, fake pages, fake comments, whatever it was. You saw through it and you cut right through it. You said, nope. Yeah, see? Because that goes right there. The technology and the Seven of Cups. This person created a whole fake empire online. I keep hearing empire. Because that goes along with excess. It wasn't like they just made one fake page or one fake, had a couple fake comments or something like that. No, it was in excess. Everything this person does is in excess. And because those two cards came out in reverse, that is what has led to this person's tower. There's not even anything that this person can blame on anybody. I'm hearing they want to blame everybody for what they've done. But they put themselves in this situation right here. Yeah, they used emotional manipulation and it's game over. Because I'm hearing they drove themselves crazy. Trying to drive you crazy. You see how dark it just got? That means game over. They had to unplug the Xbox, the PlayStation, whatever. It's all over. Take the batteries out the game controller. It's done. It's over. I'm hearing that. You know, with that like Pac-Man. Yeah. Not trying to laugh, but that made me laugh. Okay, so yeah, because they met your light team. This being who made a hobby, a career, they made both a hobby and a career out of attacking you. It was their whole life. It was their whole world. So because of the amount of time, energy, and effort that they were putting into trying to take you down, they thought that because of that, there was no way that they could lose. But with every single curse, every single plot and plan and scheme that they made against you, they got to know your light team just a little bit more, and they couldn't take it. Your ancestors, your spirit allies were constantly watching over you and protecting you. There's something you ended up having to do, but I'm hearing you chose to do it. It's like maybe you were more of a peace seeker. That kind of came, yeah, that came through with the Two of Wands. That card, it just looks like a person who's just planning for everything to be peaceful. Everything peaceful. Like all of your plans in life aligned with peace, right? And then here comes all this nonsense. And you had to turn into the Queen of Swords, right? But what that's showing me is that you stepped into some alpha energy where maybe you didn't want to, but you had to because you had to be adaptable. You had to summon another aspect of yourself. And this aspect of yourself was always in there, but perhaps you hadn't gotten so acquainted with it. Or what I'm getting for some of you is that you were in this energy when you were younger in life, but because of these witchy type sisters, okay, these witchy sister types who were females, that's really coming through. Okay, now for some of you it may have come through a male. That's fine, but look at the card, and with the downloads I've been getting, this is what's been coming through. Okay, so take it how it resonates, but I'm getting these were females who constantly attacked you. Constantly attacked you. And oh, 3333, these groups, these toxic groups of females who wanted to create trouble for you, wanted to create problems for you. And this one, the reason why they're experiencing so much karma is because they didn't just use their words. They didn't just use their fists. You may have encountered people before who were willing to fight physically or to spit venom, you know, venomous words. But this person used all of that plus the emotional manipulation, and they threw in evil, low vibe energy. They were doing energy work or paying to have energy work done. So it's because it's very important that they're coming through as witchy. So all of this let you know that you had to get reacquainted with something inside of you that perhaps at one time you were able to step into this alpha energy very easily, but because of all these repeated events that you had with this type of person, you had just been like, okay, I'm just going to live the peaceful life It's just going to be what it is, and I'm just going to be, it's going to be love, peace, and hair grease. That's it. All day. All my life. It's just going to be love, peace, and hair grease, right? But with this shit going down, you realize that, I'm going to have to step back into that alpha mode. And so it made you very adaptable. It helped you to get reacquainted with something inside of you that perhaps you had buried. And I say buried because it wasn't that you gave up, but you sort of were just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to live the peaceful life. But there's a fighter in you. And I mean, like, spiritually, there's a fighter in you that needed to be reawakened. And you could have done this in order to protect your children. This person may have tried to do evil spell work against you, your family, your home, your children. We have here the Lovers. So I'm almost certain that if you have a love relationship, this person attacked it. I'm hearing repeatedly. They even paid money to do this. They may have hired someone to try to distract you or your lover from one another. I mean, they went all out. They went all out. And see, they wanted you like this, but this is always how it goes. This is always how it goes. People who want to make another being like this, especially when the being was minding their business. It might be weeks, months, or even years. But at some point, that person who's obsessed with trying to make that person go crazy, they lose it. They flip. Because you can never win by emotionally manipulating someone. Some people exist through manipulation. They get by in life like that. Like if they're a low-level manipulator, they might be able to, you know, live a pretty decent, what most people would call normal life, you know, this matrix-driven life, right? But a person who is divinely aligned and wants to learn and love and grow, they are never going to get anywhere through manipulation. And even if it seems or appears that they're getting by with manipulating other people, it's temporary. It's like building a house on sand. Yeah, it'll look great. Might even have granite countertops and a jacuzzi or whatever in there, but it's not going to be sustainable. And it's like wasted energy. So that's what this person did. They wasted their time, energy, and effort. And what you've done is you have gotten into a routine of doing energy work that aligns with unconditional love. This could be for people in your home, your children, or a child, someone that you have a union with. Also, what I'm getting, this is a very specific message that's coming through. If this person attacked your relationship, this witchy sister, one thing they were attacking was the way that you saw this person. I'm hearing that is in your life. For some of you, there may have been a separation, but I'm hearing that whatever was meant to be in your life, it will be restored, healed, or divinely replaced. Okay? But this person operated by trying to put you against your lover. They wanted you to see your lover in a very evil, maniacal way. This is exactly what they did. This witchy sister, they sent energy to you so that you would see your person in the same light that this person, the witchy sister, is actually in. So who they actually are, that's how they wanted you to see your lover. As a narcissist, as a control freak, as an emotional manipulator. As an immature energy that's out of control, just throwing chaos everywhere with the Page of Wands. That's how they wanted you to see your person. That was the goal of their spell work. And they tried to present themselves in your light as the way that you are, as a beautiful divine being who is constantly ascending. They wanted to throw these frequencies of psychological abuse, emotional manipulation. That's how they wanted you to see your person. And that's the energy that they wanted to bring into your union, your bond. So really, the way that they were working with the energy was taking off the truth of themselves and trying to, well, they can't take it off, but they wanted to project it towards you as if that were your reality. And they wanted to present themselves within your true reality. And just like what came through before, that anytime someone uses emotional manipulation to live their life, anytime they choose that as a path and as a way to live, they might succeed for a little bit, but it's never going to last. Not ever. And this is with every single being on this earth. It's because universal laws, spiritual laws, will not allow a person who operates in these energies of evil witchcraft and emotional whipulation. They were trying to whip somebody. Maybe they were trying to have you whipped so that you would fall under their spell. That's a no. Okay. Emotional manipulation, low vibe, evil witchcraft. The universe will not support that. It will not support that. And that's what this person has discovered. Divine, is there anything else that we need to know about this energy? For this beautiful being, what do we need to know, Divine? A part of the karma that the people who attacked you, and this is not just for this witchy sister. I feel more like this witchy sister, it's more like an archetype. It's like the type of being that you've constantly come across. It's just that maybe with this most recent experience, it was the worst or the most dramatic or the one that really made you wonder if you were completely exhausted. But see, that's where this person is. That's where this person is. Because of the work that they did to try to link you to a different destiny, because of the control that they tried to have over you and your world through binding rituals. You see that? Those binding rituals. They are completely exhausted now. And no matter what the source of their guilt is, they are feeling guilty. And I keep getting, because this came through in a recent reading for a similar type energy, it feels like the source of the guilt is embarrassment. It feels like the source of the guilt that they feel is from failure, because they didn't win. You won, and you always will win, because you choose to remain divinely aligned. But they feel guilty because they failed. They feel guilty because, as the Queen of Swords, truth has come out. They didn't want to be found out. This is a person who can do evil all day and night. As long as there's some shade or some darkness, they're okay. They'll do whatever they want to do, as long as they don't get found out. But as soon as that sunlight hits, or as soon as those moonbeams hit with that full moonlight, oh, they scram. They can't handle it. And so when you came through with truth and clarity and understanding of what was going on, that's when the guilt set in. And see those hands grabbing at her head like that? That's every single demon that this person called on is coming back to haunt them. I'm getting Grim Reaper energy, because the Grim Reaper is all about transformation. And this person must transform because there's too much. The energy has become too dense. Okay, so this ascending card came through. You may have found that, like, at some points in time you felt very heavy. You know that tiredness can be an ascension symptom. There might be some tiredness that you're sensing in people around you, because people are tired. Okay, I'm getting that people are just tired of the nonsense. That's one reason for the guilt that this person is feeling. They know that a lot of people are fed up with the way that they've been doing things. Even if it's not a person or people that align with divinity, they're just tired of this person's nonsense. If you have been feeling tired, okay, now always make sure that it's not a physical thing, right? I don't ignore the physical realm, but lethargy and an extreme sense of tiredness can be a spiritual symptom that's letting us know that we are ascending, because those old energies that we used to just fall back into, or that we used to just succumb to and let, you know, we just kind of lay low. Now your spirit is like, we coming out of this. Your spirit is like, no, we're not staying down there anymore. This witchy sister archetype, these people who have been coming against you, trying to compete with you, trying to conquer you, we're not doing that anymore. So for a certain amount of time, sometimes days or maybe even a week or a couple weeks, there can be this sense of tiredness, because your body is adjusting to your new level, where you don't let those attacks, you don't let those thought forms that used to be projected at you, you don't let them bring you down anymore. So you're feeling, it's like the tiredness is because we feel that resistance to that energy. And what's happening is your spirit has already ascended, but now your body is adjusting to that new level. And so for a while, where you're kind of like in between there, your body's like, whoa, what's going on? You know, at that point in time, that there's something trying to attack you that used to keep you low right along with it. But now your body is letting you know of that sort of conflict of energies, where your spirit is like, no, we going up. And your body's like, whoa, let me catch up. And so it can take some days or sometimes a couple weeks to catch up. One thing that I find that helps with ascension symptoms is staying hydrated, getting a plenty of rest, and also doing things at a pace where you can do it, but not just saying, I'm not going to do anything. That's what works for me. Of course, anything physical, make sure that it's not something that's medical, right? Always rule that out. But if you are experiencing this ascension of energy, that could be something that you're going through, okay, if you've been feeling tired. All right, let's see what divine is bringing through that is coming your way, beautiful being. I'm so excited for you, because this is big. Like, this is the breakthrough of not just a situation, but a whole pattern of persecution, domination, attack. Because this same witchy sister type vibe has been coming through to you more than likely a large part of your life for years. And now you're above it. And you, as a chosen divine being, it's very important that you recognize that you have achieved something beautiful, you along with your spirit allies and the divine itself. Because anyone who is chosen, and this could be for anybody, this message, but I feel like in particular it's going to resonate with some woman, right? I didn't say female, I said woman, okay? Who have been attacked because you are a divine woman. And that's just something that we understand. We know what it's like to be attacked by the same people that we think are going to support us because they're like us. Oh, you're a woman, I'm a woman, girl power. You know, as a teacher, I taught a program called Girl Power. I've always been about the empowerment of women. That's why it was so mind-boggling to me when I started to notice a pattern of like, why am I being attacked by women? Like, we're supposed to, and then I realized it's not women, they're females. That's why I'm being attacked by them. Because I'm a woman, they're a female, and it's a thing. Divine, please bring through what blessings this beautiful being is going to experience. Support. Oh my God. Divine, I am so grateful for this card, because that is what this is all about, is that these females, take it how it resonates. It could have been some dudes, okay? But that energy is definitely coming through. They wanted you to feel alone, isolated, weird. They wanted you to feel, oh, my nose keeps itching. I know this is for somebody. They wanted you to feel like nothing was for you. Not a love relationship, not a dollar, not a business, it could have been, for some of you, you might have a restaurant, okay, with the cuisine coming through. They wanted you to feel like there was nothing on this earth good for you. And truly, as a divine chosen being, there is everything for you. And you have unlocked something so powerful and so magical and so divine as you have ascended from this crazy nonsense that they try to keep you bound to. Okay, so you've got support. You've got support. Look, it's a whole pack there. And look, I'm seeing here because it's a family of wolves. And then you've got the little bird down there. So there's going to be diversity within the community that supports you. That's important. It could be males, females, non-binary. It could be black, white, like everybody, every race, age, some young, some older, or now that I'm getting older, I like to say some more mature. But you know, diverse. So this is what you've earned, and this is what you've manifested. Okay, Ashe. I could stop there, but let's get something else. Creativity and inspiration. You are creating from an even more inspired space now because you've done the work and you've ascended. There's a whole like part of your brain now, that's what I'm seeing, that's like more active now. Perhaps you've been healing some things on a level where there's that neuroplasticity happening, where you're actually changing some of the emotional responses that you have and some of the patterns that you act out in. You know, you're not reacting like you used to. Okay, there's less anxiety because there's a reduced amount of fear that you feel. Like, so much magic. Hope. This is in large part because you never gave up hope. Can we see these together? Support and collaboration. Everything that these witchy sisters or whoever else was trying to take from you, all the support, all the grounding. I'm seeing this grass here. They wanted you to feel anxious and not supported. You're going to get everything that you deserve, which is beautiful blessings. And transformation. Transformation is the soul's evolution. There's something here. There's somebody here who's transforming because of their evil, but you're transforming through ascension. Okay? Ashe. Thank you, Divine, for these messages. I am so grateful, and thank you, beautiful being, for taking the time to tune in. I hope you gained some clarity, some insight, some good vibes from these words that I have shared with you. And I love you. I wish you peace. I wish you joy. and so many blessings. And I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Ashe. Take care.